We're live. It's recording.
I see myself.
We've got our Mevo back.
Mevo's back.
You're going to direct this episode.
Yeah, you're not allowed to touch it.
I got sweaty fingers anyway. So.
Yeah. God.
Having sweaty hands it really is a disability. It's not up there with the other disabilities, but it is marginally terrible all the time.
In today's digital age, with all the screens,
it's hard.
You are at a disadvantage.
And in Florida.
Yeah.
So I'm outside on my iPhone. I'm just like, oh, I guess I just can't use this thing.
Yeah, they get hot.
Well, my hands are sweaty right now, and I'm totally fine.
Except for the sweaty hands.
Always
Problem.
sweaty.
Yeah.
Playing video games growing up. No one wanted me to lose because then they'd have to use my controller.
Yeah.
With the gray sweat on there. That's how you bring it into Sweat Equity Podcast. A little sweat action. I really didn't even mean to bring that up. The titular part of this podcast, the sweat part. Speaking of sweat, gofreshbooks.com/sweat. That's our sponsor. Hook it up. You haven't done your taxes yet. Have you done your taxes?
Oh, yeah.
But for next year, have you started getting proactive, helping yourself?
Oh, yeah.
With FreshBooks. So you can go to gofreshbooks.com/sweat. Our listeners get the hookup. Holler if you hear me.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Holler.
Woo!
Holler.
Yeah. Holler.
I guess I am a listener. I have to listen to you. So
That's true. You do. A lot more than just on my listeners. Listen up. Go to gofreshbooks.com/sweat. I just touched your foot on accident.
You are off all of a sudden.
I only slept 90 minutes, man. I am feeling good. I feel drunk, honestly.
Cool.
Sober drunk.
You should
Yeah.
get some gems out of you.
No, I'm gonna go drive right after this, so it'll be fine.
Good.
gofreshbooks.com/sweat. So before we get into it, what have you been working on? Anything of note? I think that's a good opening template question.
To hit me with out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'll answer for you. How's your hemorrhoid?
Oh, that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we should always ask, what are we working on?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm always working on myself.
Sure.
And now my butt is part of it, but it's still a part of my life. But
Fred's still there. I'm calling him Fred.
Alfonso.
Oh, Alfonso?
Yeah.
Alfonso Ribeiro? Carlton?
I think I have seen it dance.
Like a white guy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so Alfonso, he's still alive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna take, like I said, it's gonna take a couple weeks for it to go away. It like shrieks a little bit. I mean, we can talk about it all you want.
You seem a little bummed.
I'll just give you, first 90 seconds of every episode. We're gonna do the hemorrhoid update. Is that what we're doing now?
Well, people care.
No, they don't.
I saw it on the message boards.
Yeah, LOL. Eric's in pain.
Well, let's just get into the episode. How about that?
Good.
God almighty. This is the Sweat Equity Podcast.
Jeez, you are sounding drunk.
Dude, I last week, look, can we talk about some sleep hygiene?
Yes.
You are the wellness guy.
Out of the two of us.
Out of the two of
guess.
us. Out of this duo. I would say sleep hygiene. I used to think you're kind of a wuss if you couldn't get through a day. You're like, oh, I only slept 3 hours. I read a joke on Twitter. I don't even know who wrote it. I read it like 7 years ago. It's one of the. It's like, hey guy, no one cares how much you slept last night. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like the old man back pain I've talked about forever. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, I see. I've always been I don't sleep that much. Like, I'm good with 7 hours. I never sleep more than 7 hours, but like 6 is usually where I'm sitting.
Six is good for me.
Yeah, I don't always know. Lots of people, it's like 8 hours, and then that's the minimum. And then if anything less than that, don't even talk to them all day.
Yeah, I haven't had my coffee.
Yeah, but I sleep's important. It's
Wow.
definitely important to
Hard-hitting.
do it. That's what I'm saying though. Like I try
kinda-
not to get mad at people anymore for bitching about it because I'm abnormal. I know that most people don't have the John Gruden 3:17 a.m. natural wake up call.
Are you going to bed at 9, 10?
I'm like
I'm
9 or
waking up at
10.
4?
Yeah, and 4 is when I fall asleep at 9 a lot of times.
Yeah. No, well, you have kids. They're 6,
6 and 3.
3, and
6'3".
6'3". Yeah, who's drunk now?
Yeah.
They're 6 and 3, so it's not. You don't really do anything once they go to sleep. Like you might hang out for like an hour.
I'm done when they're in
Right.
bed. Like that is it. That's all my energy.
'Cause
Then it's just lay in bed and see how it goes from there. Maybe I'll make it through a whole episode of a TV show. Maybe my wife will touch me. Maybe something, but usually I fall right asleep.
Yeah, well, we got the 2 little babies, 18 months and 5 months, and it's like, okay, I'm always doing the math. Like I'm like, okay, if I go to sleep now, it's like 10 o'clock. If I go to sleep now, I can get solid 6 because I want to keep going on this 4 a.m. 4:30 wake up time. My wife basically called me lame for doing it, which doesn't help.
I need
Doesn't
to talk
help
to her.
my confidence at home. I was like, shouldn't I have more discipline? Don't you want that? Isn't that a thing?
Is it lame because you're posting it on social media, or is
Well, I
it
did
lame
that-
because you're waking up early?
I did that for 3 weeks as like an accountability buddy, almost.
Don't call it that.
I did it for well, you know what? For something that I felt kind of douchey for doing it. I probably have more people like secretly talk to me about it, like than anything else I've put online consistently.
What do you mean secretly talk to
Not
you?
like
Like in the
they're
parking
not
garage?
Like, no one's
Trench coats?
No one's commenting on it.
Oh.
And saying like anything. But like when I talk to people in person, they see it and then they want to talk to me about it.
Oh, real life Facebook.
Yeah, IRL, in real life, as they call it. And so, I totally give you credit for it. It does help a lot, especially when you do have kids. You're not doing anything after 8 o'clock when they're really little.
Yeah.
And ours are babies. So here's the problem, though. You're like, cool. If I go to bed now, I get like 4 or 5 hours straight. That's good. But it doesn't work like that because the baby will wake you up and like.
As soon as you start thinking that way, that's like I got to do this now thing. And that's, oh no, what if I don't fall asleep right away?
Oh.
Then snake eating its own tail, maybe?
Ouroboros.
Does that make sense?
I think that's what it's called.
What is it?
Ouroboros.
That's what that's called?
Yeah, I think I learned that from that movie adaptation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Is
Yeah.
it Spanish?
No, I don't know. It's probably Greek, Roman,
Oh, okay.
something. I don't know. But it's one of those things. Sleep hygiene. I don't know why we don't have a bed sponsor. I think Casper doesn't come to Florida. I think that was what our agency told us. But I said, I've heard like we're sleeping all wrong. We didn't know it.
Yeah. We're also
You believe
pooping all wrong.
Well,
Shouldn't be pooping on toilets. Should be pooping into a hole in the ground, apparently.
do you believe in that?
At this point, I guess I don't know what I believe.
Or is it just good marketing? Is it like what is it, K Diamonds?
What, from the hole company? The company that digs
Is
the
Squatty
toilet holes?
Potty, who should be a sponsor here because I gave Squatty Potties out to everybody for Christmas. Is Squatty Potty kind of like
Well, that's the idea. It's
diamond
bringing
engagement ring? That's the best marketing of all time, right?
Yeah.
It didn't exist. They created a thing, a ritual that didn't exist, and they artificially inflated how much diamonds should cost.
Yes. I think we might talk about this every episode. This or Luxottica.
We haven't talked
The
about this in a long time.
Just monopolies.
We haven't kept all the listeners.
And, hey,
This
let me
thing's
ask
like
you.
a bar. 80% are coming in new. That's what John Taffer tells me.
You're gonna get people sick.
Oh, he's
Hey.
my hero.
How high off the ground is your bed
Ooh.
that you sleep in?
Probably 2 feet.
Okay.
3
Did
feet?
some-
2 feet.
Ours is like 6.5 feet off. It's
I don't like that.
preposterous.
I don't like that.
I don't understand it. I was hoping you could explain to me the reasoning behind it. But
They're-
like girls like these big tall beds that especially if you have a kid fall out of it, which we've had both our kids at like
Really?
yes. Oh, yeah. At young ages, old ages, yeah. I just don't understand it. I mean, it's cool to be able to go down there and play commando underneath the 12-inch opening underneath it, but that gets old after a year.
I like storage underneath my bed, but not too much. I will say I'm trying to look this up right now. The high versus low bed.
How high? That important?
I'm kind of curious because I have thought about this, and I bet you think this is boring for the listeners, but I bet a lot of people are trying to figure this out. So for most knee levels, about 16 inches to 24 inches off the ground. At this height, people can usually put both feet firmly on the ground and push off the bed with their knees bent. So if you go too low, you're like a heroin addict. Like you do the mattress on the ground. I've done that, in my bachelor days.
Oh yeah, me too.
You basically are in an air mattress all the time.
Yeah.
I remember it being way dirtier because so much dust and just regular dirt that chalks up.
Yeah.
So you can't go too low.
Yeah, I mean I get it coming off the ground a little bit, but ours is like it's literally 4 feet high. I think
it's like it's like doing the high jump to get up there.
Yeah, it's a thing to get in and out of bed.
And you don't have the dogs.
No.
Yeah, dogs. So that's another thing. We got to keep it a little bit low so the old girl can get in. Old girl Punky can get in bed.
Oof,
and dominate.
You're getting it from all angles.
So that's the thing, man. Like I used to bitch about the dogs being in bed, and I was like, this isn't good for either of us. You know this, right? Like, and it's not good for the psyche of like our relationship with the dogs. They shouldn't be on even ground with us.
Yeah,
I think.
That's from Caesar. That's like Caesar Milan will tell you that.
Well, he also says it's all discipline of the owners too. So that's bringing back to 4 a.m. wake ups. That's kind of. And I heard Tim Ferriss, even though I'm not the biggest Tim Ferriss fan, talk about he's got a cool bed, and it's almost like a thin water bed layer, and it cools your side.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
Because I run hot.
Oh, I'm sweaty all the time at night.
Right. So he said, for a lot of men, you're a lot hotter usually, and so his side of the bed has it's at like 71 or something like that. Like,
that's cool.
Like perfect temperature for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife tried to buy me a cool pillow, and it was like sleeping on I don't know, like a latex bodysuit.
Those are gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen those. I had one for a minute, and I was like, this is going to the dog.
Yeah, it was immediately out the window.
They smell. I don't like them.
Mine didn't last that long to smell.
I was told to get a fan. That's our solution. So.
You ever heard of a fan?
That's what happens when you marry a comedian. Pretty curt options. So, you just had your kid's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, 3-year-old birthday party at the house.
Let's give some practical tips on the birthday.
Yeah,
for the little kids.
A big one.
You had a good theme.
Okay, well, that wasn't actually the idea.
Did anybody do it?
No.
Oh,
that was just to drum up attention.
Oh,
no. Well, I had said that we were gonna have everybody dress up like old grannies, and then I was thinking all the old people who didn't dress up, tell them what a great costume they had, but.
That's pretty funny.
I ended up drinking and forgetting about it. Anyways, yeah, well, like a few years ago, I realized the number one cardinal rule with the kids' birthday parties, don't have them at your house because people will linger because you have a kid's birthday party at like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you're at home drinking and it's just like, oh, the parents are drinking, well, I might have a drink. And then it's just like, oh, I guess you're my new best friend. You're staying here till dark and don't know how to tell you to leave sort of thing. So we violated that rule immediately. So going forward, do the Chuck E. Cheese, get it out of the house.
Don't plan it like you would before you had kids.
Yeah.
Because before you have kids, you're like, hey, man, all day, just come over. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
just sleep on the couch. Sleep wherever. Don't go to sleep.
Do whatever you want,
all good.
Man.
Yeah. So that rule was violated. But, I mean, it wasn't like a problem this time, just in the past. We had thought that my wife's birthday is right next to our son, so we thought we were making it like, half adult party, half kids party, but, we're all old now, so it's just like, I'm tired, so I'm just going to get out of here.
It's not even, I was going to try to tough it out and get over there, let let the wife sleep and take the 2 kids, but it's their nap time, and then I was like, I won't even be like, I'll just like sit in the corner and have to watch both of them.
Right, yeah.
It's not even fun.
No, I get it. Be practical about it. The kids aren't going to remember coming to my house when they're 18 months old.
Exactly. I say that all
whatever.
the time. They're not going to remember if I'm working a lot.
Yeah, right now, this is the time to do it.
That's what I had in my head, except I didn't explain that to my loved one.
One other thing. Okay, so we rented a giant water slide, and immediately my son goes down it the first time. I don't tell him there's like a little water pool at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He goes under the water. He's traumatized all day. Doesn't go down it without me going down it.
Oh.
But
no.
We had a friend of ours gave us another smaller inflatable like water slide thing that was not nearly as big.
Mm-hmm.
Our new thing is the kids all played on that one. Like that was the one they wanted to actually play on.
So you went to the hassle of like renting like the big inflatable, like it looks like a
bounce house.
Yeah.
With water.
It's like a little hill almost, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it got used, but it wasn't, it wasn't the hit.
It's like imagine like a ramp almost.
Yeah.
That kind of
45-degree angle.
Yeah. But it has stairs in the back. It's inflatable like the bounce house.
Yeah. So
use your words.
Next time is going to be, people don't need the layout of the bounce house water slide. Who cares? My point is, don't spend the money on
like
the big water slide. You get a bunch of little ones, and they won't be traumatized like mine was.
Don't rent a water slide and get the little guys. Yeah. That's a good time. That's what I did for my 21st birthday. I did slip and slides in my parents' front yard.
Slip and slides are fun. The cool thing about the one we got was it has an incline on it, so there's gravity doing some work for you. Because we had slip and slides, and the kids just want me to throw them down. I did it one time. Stupid. Shouldn't have shown them my strength.
Yep.
Then
You're
all
like,
day, Daddy, throw me.
I'm ketogenic, guys.
Yeah.
I
got 2 torn obliques over here.
I diet. Okay.
Yeah.
I eat really healthy, guys. I'm the wellness guy. I'm the wellness dad. Okay?
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, well, show us the wellness in you for the next 4 hours and push us around this shitty slip and slide.
Yeah. You forget that repetitive thing. If it's going to be like fun, you're like, oh, this will be fun for them. And then it's like, oh, no.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a lot better.
And then times 20 kids.
Yeah. Seeing the future of my work.
Well, so I don't know how to get into the other thing we're going to talk about. Well, I guess online there's been the gun. Or do you want to get to?
Oh, we go straight from birthday parties to
guns. You want to go Zuckerberg?
Oh no, let's talk about guns. I wasn't really sure what you were going to get to about the guns, so let's hear it.
Well, I was thinking about it. The debate in our house. It's not really a debate. I agree with my wife, so we're not really arguing about it. But I'd say. And I think a lot of us are in this zone where it's like, I'm not really extreme on guns one way or the other. Like I'm fine with you having them if you're super responsible. And the people I know, like personally, the people I know, most of them are like insanely responsible to the point of like, why would you even have a gun locked in 2 cases? Like, for protection.
Yeah, that's where I am.
I've never shot a gun actually. We should go do that.
Yeah. You got to at least shoot the gun.
I'm not against it.
So that you can be like, okay, this is fun. It's fun to shoot guns for sure. I don't go.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because, like, when am I going to have
I've gone hunting and didn't even shoot. I sat in a fucking deer stand for 5 hours waiting.
Before you left, you weren't like, can I just fire off a round real quick?
It's 4 a.m. So for some reason, we had to go to Georgia when I was at Auburn. We had to go to this property in Georgia that's an hour away. Then you lose an hour driving there. We got up at like 2, and I think I came home from the bars and just slept.
Oh, you were saying you just weren't thinking straight.
No. I just was like, there was no like hang out time beforehand. It was like, all right, you're gonna go with Lincoln. You go over there, and he's like, all right, now you.
No, I was saying at the end when you're like, oh, we're not catching anything. Be like, can I just fire off a gun?
I think I was like throwing up. I was just like barfing from the booze the night before.
Yeah, a gunshot doesn't exactly sit well with a hangover.
No, and my buddy, one of my best friends is like, yeah. I know you're scared of heights and stuff, but I want you to get in this. you have to do that lumberjack like
Really?
you're hugging it to
Yeah.
get up. It's some kind of seat he had, and I was like, fuck, okay. That made me puke a little bit on myself, and then I sat up there and I was just like shivering, like trying to get in the zone, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck up this deer, and then 5 hours later, he's like, all right, let's go, and he's like, oh no, I fell asleep for like most of the time, and I was like, what? What are we doing out here? Why would you do that? I was so pissed.
I think a lot of people look at hunting as like one of those things that's not super fun while you're doing it. Unless, I mean, if you kill something, that's good, I guess. But that's also, I mean, is that fun? It's fun after is the point. It's like it's after fun. Once you're done and you're back warm and everything, you can talk about all the how Law puked on himself and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like fishing. Fishing isn't really fun necessarily for me. It's like a lot of work for not a lot of return in the pleasure department. But there's something satisfying at the end of the night, or like when the sun's going down and you're grilling.
Yeah.
My fitness goal long term is to do one of those crazy bow hunts. I want to shoot. I want to get good at a bow. I don't know why, and I want to do one of those ones like where you have to like be in really good shape to be able to do it. Like you really hunt.
What do you do? Like run to?
Yeah, you have to like.
It's
run.
like a race, and you gotta.
No. It's just like you just have to be in good shape to get certain animals on like mountains and stuff.
Oh, you're just saying just to go on a difficult hunt.
Yeah, it's like my own like Tough Mudder.
Gotcha.
Like I got to get to that, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the hunters that I see, it's like they have like super nice trucks, ATVs that are like awesome, and it's like they got all this shit. It's like make it a little bit harder on yourself. Like, come on, man.
No,
I don't get that part of it.
Like the Rogan, Cameron Haynes style, where you have to be able to run with a bow.
Yeah.
Or be in like ridiculous shape to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think that's where I got that. The like delayed fun idea is from one of those hunters on Rogan. I think said that. But yeah, I don't.
Delayed gratification, man.
Know. So what was the gun debate?
I was getting some hate from my friends because I reposted what my wife put, and I agree. It's weird. It's weird how divisive the gun control debate is. To me, I just get frustrated because nothing changes.
Yeah.
Literally nothing changes.
Yeah, it's I don't get it either. Like, why can we just not make it a little bit harder? And then they'll say, well, it doesn't matter. It's like, well, can we just try it maybe first?
Yeah, let's
maybe
try
just try it first.
Try it a little bit.
Okay. So maybe it was a pain in your ass for 3 days. You didn't get your assault rifle.
I do
Sorry.
think a lot of these massacres are impulsive.
Yes.
Speaking of delayed gratification, I feel like this is the other way. This is way the other way. And I feel like, yeah, maybe they've been thinking about it for a while, but don't underestimate the laziness of Americans when even if they're pissed, right?
Yeah.
I don't, it may be in that meantime, something happens to interject in this timeline, right? So let's take the scenario, you make it a little bit harder to get a gun, and maybe in the 3-day waiting period or whatever you have to do to jump through the hoops to get it, maybe in that time, someone's like, hey, have you been taking your meds? They're like, you should be taking them. Maybe that happens.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not that.
The ones prescribed by the doctor, take them.
Well, that's the other part of this too. It's like all of them are like white dudes that have some kind of
mental illness.
Yeah, but they're taking something.
Yeah,
it's not. Now
antipsychotics.
I think that's a symptom and not an effect. But because I don't know. I don't think
there's a lot. I'm sure there's mixing going on. You taking
sure.
like a SSRI or whatever they take, and then something else. Maybe cocaine or whatever can really mess up your brain chemistry, and then you're just not the same person.
So my thing is like, it kind of brought me to leadership because I was thinking about what to talk about on here. I have a bunch of stuff, but they're all kind of like, I've got a little bit of a lot of topics for this podcast, and I'm trying to pregame a little bit more, and I'm thinking about the leadership of the country, and it's kind of like with this stuff, it's just really frustrating that literally nothing will change, and I know it. You know it. Most people that really think logically about human behavior They know it in this country. And I don't know. That's so frustrating. And I was comparing it to like when you work in an office and you're clearly a lot better than the person that's managing you. That's an old trope frustration. You're really frustrated at work because you know you're better than whatever you're doing, and no one's recognizing it. And you just know like you're gonna have to clock in on Monday, and you're gonna punch in, and it's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we can take that. We got to be more positive than that. Let's take my 7% for 7% of optimism. I mean, because if you don't, like, then what? We're just like, oh, we'll just let it keep happening.
No,
I mean,
what happens is a new news story happens.
Right. Well,
and we go, well, there was that thing, and then we follow that butterfly, and we just go, okay.
It's just weird to me that like it always comes down to money. The NRA pumping money into politicians and all that, but like there's absolutely money to be made if you want to turn these regulations into jobs. Like create new gun mental health guys that have to evaluate you, and then all that. Like if you're creative, there's money to be made. I just don't understand why they can't just take away. Why can't we just step back and just
and then
make it tougher?
There's a slippery slope argument. For every time you regulate, there's going to be more of a black market. Sure, fine, that's fine. But that, like, to do that because of the fear of doing something is kind of weird to me. I get it. I think that's 100% that way with drugs.
For sure, yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, if you deregulate drugs tomorrow, everything will be fine. That needs to be a slow deregulation kind of thing. I don't think you do that. You don't do that in, like, 1 week. Like, everybody will go crazy. But I'm saying, like, with guns, it's like I've heard of the technology where your fingerprint is on the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You always hear this stat. I wonder if it's even true. There's more guns than people in the country. I mean, it seems right because most guys I know that have a gun have 5.
Yeah, I got 3. But like,
you have 3?
Yeah.
So it's like,
but I don't have an assault rifle. Like I have a shotgun and two pistols for my house. Like, but like realistically, if somebody's breaking into my house, there's a baseball bat next to me. That's what I'll pick. Like to get into my gun safe, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's like I'll say fuck it, just give me this. Like my kids are on the other side of the house. I'm not wasting time. So it's like that's just a relic sitting in my house now at this point.
just a relic that.
Yeah, it's just an homage to who I used to be. The guy who had the balls to open the gun safe.
That in the mirror.
Yeah. The thing that drives me crazy is that, like, people think, oh, we got to keep our guns in case the government comes after us. Have you seen military technology that if they really want to come after you,
right?
Like, you're not doing anything that can stop the government's technology. Like, it's just silly.
It's a lot of the same people. The Venn diagram is very very big in the middle. It's the same people that don't realize their voice is being recorded by Alexa, Siri, Google Home, and they're like, "Why did this ad just pop up? We were just talking about it." It's like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think these things are $50? This is like crazy technology.
Yeah.
It was brand new, and it was like, hey, we're just gonna put this in the iPhone. Don't worry about it.
No, just take it. Trust me.
Oh, and
I have to pay you something, right?
You need to go in your settings to make sure it doesn't listen all the time.
Yeah, it'll still listen.
Yeah. So, bringing this to kind of leadership, I was thinking about Zuckerberg. I don't know much about that story. What's going on lately? I know there's some Cambridge Analytics.
Yeah.
My understanding is security breach on a lot of these trashy personality quizzes.
Yeah, there was like a quiz app that was mining all the data.
What Game of Thrones character are you?
Jon Snow, I knew it.
Good job. You just got a lot of housewife, like bored mom, or like really, really bored at work people. You got their info.
Yeah. Why do you want to be somebody else, guys?
So what's happened? The IPO's gone. You can't really look it up, huh?
I got it on my phone, but
the IPO,
just a lot of advertisers pulling out of Facebook.
Not IPO. The stock went down.
Yeah,
like crazy. But here's my thing with. I was thinking about leadership. I was thinking about Trump. I'm not gonna rag on that because I feel like that's exhaustion from all sides.
And we just did gun talk, so should probably take it easy
I
on
felt
the
like
politics.
our take was refreshing enough.
Yeah, I felt refreshed too by
I
our
haven't heard
take.
anybody talk about the kind of being in the middle.
Yeah.
That in itself is the extreme.
It does need
opinion.
to be. Yeah, it does need to be a little bit more
Hey man,
level-headed.
maybe
talk.
a little bit more regulation, and maybe I'm not a big create jobs by government guy, but don't do it like the TSA. Like legit, have them do a test, or don't be the TSA or DMV. I think TSA is actually private.
It doesn't. Yeah, it can be private. Set aside $100 million to create this thing. Hire this firm. It's there.
Get corporate consolidation. Get 4 companies to just be the 4 that the government lets you do it, and then the Koch brothers owns one of them, and then you can get certified, and competition will breed a better kind of certification process.
I can't tell if you're being. You're like talking out on both sides of your mouth.
It talks sing-songy, but I don't like either side of this. I don't like the extremes of either of this. No one wants to get to the root of the issue, and regulations. It's not really a fix, but it's worth trying out. I know Australia did it. In a similar kind of ilk where they had a lot of massacres, and it seemed to work out okay for them. And you know what? People get in bar fights. You don't get in fights anymore because it's like, man, that guy might have a gun. I don't know.
So wait.
Like people.
So now are you saying it's a good thing?
Yeah, that's a good.
You're
thing.
all over the road, man.
Dude, I know, but I am on both sides. I'm right in the middle, man. And my thing is like, wouldn't you like to get in like see old school bar fights like 1950s style, right?
Yeah. Put your dukes up.
Hey, you offended my lady, and then it's like, let's take this outside. Yeah. That shit doesn't happen
this
anymore.
Old thing.
It's whoever has the.
Irish.
Since I was in high school, it's whoever had the best weapons won. Like it eventually got to that point. Yeah.
Jesus.
For real, someone would bring that.
Your private Catholic high school was a lot rougher than my private Catholic high school.
We had to fend off all the fathers. So I was thinking of Trump, and Trump does this move. He talks a lot of shit like he's gonna do something and doesn't do it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of leadership issues in business like that. We're going to do a lot of things. I'm a figurehead, but you're not actually doing anything in reality, right? So what happens, like, I think we brought this up before. I love I kind of like it in business a little bit, because what happens is Zuckerberg says something, Facebook's going to do this. Like, we're not going to have as much news stories, like your classic news outlets, news stories in your news feed. It's going to be more personalized. It's not going to be brand heavy. And then like a week later, they're like, we tried it. We're going back to the old way. But you don't do a press release for that, right?
Right.
So I think that's always interesting when you say you're going to make big moves as a company, as the leader of a company. I'm guilty of this here on a small level where I'd be like, we got to do this and this and this. And then
I set aside 5 minutes every day to let me plan big.
Yeah. Well,
this is how this is going to work out.
Okay,
buddy.
I think goal setting in a business way, if we're doing it for ourselves, we weren't treating ourselves as a client. So that's number one. And we weren't creating time to do that. So our whole principle of solving how at Tokabaga Consulting, tocoworks.com, TOCOWORKS.com, is I would get on the whiteboard. This all happened just organically. I get on the whiteboard and I go, okay, go on the right side. What do you want to do? And I'd write all the goals out. On the left side, I go, we're here. And then here's the timeline. Mm-hmm. I think goal setting's about doing short-term, long-term goals at the same time, right? Yeah.
Well, goal setting's not the problem. It's the follow-through.
Oh, no, execution plan for sure. But I'm saying, like, you got to do that part first.
Sure.
And I think in some weird way, venting it out to you and whoever's in this office working, it helps me stay on top of it a little bit in my head.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're doing. I know I could be. I'm gonna get a.
You do it at home, right?
I'm gonna get a mannequin to sit in here and. Yes, and then I'll have like a little recording.
I'll talk to.
Good
Alexa.
idea, buddy.
Put the Alexa hockey puck in the doll and.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I wanted to have a big project management board, Lego strips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because I saw
Expensive though.
No, I saw Lego rollers as like some kind of wallpaper.
Yeah, somebody got those for my kids, and they're on my sliding glass doors forever now.
But good for, do they stick?
Yeah, well, the side that you want to be able to peel off, that stays. The Legos themselves, in terms of like putting stuff on them, doesn't really, because they're not Lego brand. They're just knocking off. They're like rubber almost.
Ew. All right. Well,
ew.
We can probably buy used Legos and figure that out.
Okay.
Because that was an old idea, and I was like, yeah, but we're digital. You know, people have to see it remote. You know, you're some days it's takes too long to get into the office for you, so it's not worth the time driving. You know, it could be an hour and a half, 2 hours of just driving to get here and back. I think it's not worth it all the time.
No.
But now I was like, oh,
rarely worth it.
What do you mean? You're right here, right now. But I was like, oh, get a drop camera. You take a click of it, like a Nest Cam, and that would solve a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'm derailing.
So wait, leadership. That's what we were talking.
So how do you lead? How do you become a leader when like maybe you're forced into it? You know, I feel like bringing up dad stuff again. I feel like that's a lot of being a dad, and that's why there's dad jokes and you know. All right. Here's a good example.
Oh boy!
I last night I have a lot of work to do. I was like stressed out, but I promised I would mount this other TV, this TV wall mount in my other kid's room. I've already done one, and supposedly this is the same one, the same exact arm. And it wasn't.
Stupid.
It's a different brand.
Why would you think that?
Total different brand. I didn't buy it, and so I go, all right. I'm going to take an hour. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to do this fast. And 2 hours later, I was like, I don't trust the stud I put it in. I think it hit. I think I only got drywall. I don't trust it. I tried to put an anchor in, and that's like dad frustration of just like, you know, I should be the leader in the house and not be like, duh.
Yeah, but
Someone calling?
What does that mean?
Oh.
Does it still work? Still recording.
Oh, okay, good. Someone's calling.
Who the hell's calling you?
I think it's our friend of the program, Rob Cressy of Cressy Media, Bacon Sports Podcast. Doing a lot of stuff with the MLB right now. Doing a lot of video stuff. So he looks. Have you met him?
No.
He looks like he's like my brother from another mother. He
shit.
does this work. He's got long hair. He's a white guy. Rarely shaves. But he's more bro, like, yo.
More bro than you, bro?
Yeah, way more bro. Bruh. So, like, being forced to be a leader is like being a parent.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to go, I got to figure this out.
Yeah, well, you got to take a step back and look at yourself, too. You know, there's no difference. Leadership and parents. You know, bosses are the parents of the office.
Yeah. I was like, treat the home a little bit more office business like with the task manager stuff, with you know, the goal setting, calendar sharing, all that stuff.
Well, I can remember thinking back to a kid hearing that phrase where do as I say, not as I do.
Ugh.
And I was like, that is bullshit. What are you talking about?
Right.
No, I want to see you do it too. What are you talking? I have to do this shitty thing, but you're not going to do it? What? That's all the same.
Yeah, I like leading by example. That maybe, and I probably try to do too much instead of delegating a little bit more. I think that's one big thing. I'm not very type A-ish, but we're just such in a hurry a lot of the time to get stuff done. Sometimes it's just like, I don't even think about it, right? Sit back and think about it and go, well, I should do this, this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And if I spent that 30 minutes, probably be a lot better a lot of the time. Let's anything else on leadership you got?
No.
I mean, Facebook, I don't know. We really won't know much about that story until the dust settles in about a month.
It's weird to see the numbers that they throw away with the money that they're losing. It said like $100 billion in 10 days or something. And I know it's all make up imaginary money, but still, like, how is that even possible to be able to lose that much and still be operating and all. It's just weird to me, you know?
1 in every 5 minutes spent online is on Facebook.
Yeah, well.
So, I mean, from an advertiser standpoint, I know there's money going in there. Dude, the Messenger was the smartest thing they ever did.
Why?
Because it kept everybody there. So I tell everybody in client meetings, I say Facebook's like the bad hookup in college. Like everybody's had one. No one talks about it. All kids have Facebook. They just don't talk about it. But because if you don't have someone's email or contact info, you're friends with them there. Now you can message them.
That's true.
And Instagram, everybody uses a different handle. They don't use their name.
So I mean, the Messenger. You're just talking about being able to send messages to people on Facebook.
Yeah, but it was the smartest thing for retention. If you're looking at like daily active user retention, right? Because my favorite thing is when people make a huge like press release. I call it a social press release of like, I'm getting off Facebook for Lent because it is bad for me. And it's like you're promoting this on Facebook.
Yeah, you're not getting off of Facebook.
Like, I get it. It's addictive. They make it addictive.
But it's like our buddy John Paul Labadie, Tampaniac Pictures. He said he was going to get
a logo.
Yeah, kick-ass lightning bolt logo.
Looking girthy. Yeah.
There was a point like a month ago where he's like, I deleted my Facebook app. I'm like, dude, you run a bit. You can't delete it. Like your business relies on Facebook. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I took his phone and put it back on there. I was like, you have to have this.
You just reminded me. So there is a good tip. I remembered from our friend Samantha Gant of Social Alchemy. Buffer, he could schedule everything through Buffer. He doesn't even have to log into Facebook. He can log in once, get that pass-through authentication. Whatever. I'm tired. That's a long word for me, Auburn grad. But he could schedule everything out in Buffer, and now Buffer does the thing that we couldn't do forever. If you ever have managed social media accounts, you can schedule through Buffer and post to Instagram. Instagram used to make it really difficult to do that, and now, boom, Buffer somehow has made it doable.
Yeah, I remember you being much more excited about it than I was like, what, you can't do that? What?
Well, when you handle a lot of accounts, it's all planning.
Yeah.
The beauty of digital marketing is like you can do so much upfront work, and then schedule everything out.
Even work ahead after that.
You can work so far ahead. You can grind 1 week to do a whole month for a client.
Yeah.
Right? That's the idea. That's why I really like this model as a business. For Buffer to be able to do that, it was just annoying. And you had like the best you had was Hootsuite would give you a notification to your phone, like, hey, it's time to post the thing you already made, and you're in the middle of something, Yeah. Because a lot of the work
I have an alarm on my phone too. It's like, thanks Hootsuite.
Well, I realize a lot of the work we're doing, it's much better if we do it in block chunks. Like if we're doing a website development, it's much better to work 4 hours than like 4 days for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of short-term memory. It's a lot of like, it's just a lot of like, oh, this would be a good idea. I'm going to maybe come back to that.
Yeah, you follow paths.
Yeah. And
so new paths.
So my thing with when you have these ongoing services like social media marketing and management, that's the thing of like doubling back while you're doing another campaign it'll fry your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would say I just want to go through a little social media kind of. I was kind of writing some stuff late last night, and I forgot I kind of had a model for social media marketing and management, and then we'll kind of close this out. Where are we at? We're about 45.
Almost.
So social media, here's the deal. Everybody thinks it's silly on a business standpoint, but just like our friend of the program, John Paul, it should be an integral part of his marketing, right?
It's all of his marketing at this point.
Because most of y'all, most people trying to do their own thing, you've got to work on what I call the inside out strategy. Pretty simple. Real estate agents, they get they're taught this as the sphere of influence. So you have a circle, you have your friends and family, you have a circle around that, like a solar system kind of path or whatever.
Looks like a nipple.
Looks like a nip right now. That second ring is, friends of friends. And that third ring's acquaintances, kind of professional colleagues, people you don't really call up, but you could.
Now it's like a really weird nipple.
Now it's like a big areola on
like
a boob.
Ringworm around it. Anyways.
So just think of 3 circles, like a Russian doll, one inside the other. And so, or a tree stump, whatever you want to do. No, wait.
What else?
All right. So you want to have that kind of outlook for most people doing their own thing. You want to start your own blog. You start with the friends and family and get it to them. And most people go, I don't want to bother anybody. It's like, you'll be surprised how many friends are really pumped that you're doing your own thing or doing this passionate thing on the side. I feel like a lot of people are embarrassed to try to do that, and that's why they don't want to do the marketing part ever.
Something that I have realized is that it's hard to have opportunities to help people too. Like, I think people in general have like this need to help others, and you don't always have these obvious guy broke down in the middle of the road, help him push his car down, out of the way sort of situations. Like, it's okay to hit your friends up because your friends might be excited to help you. Like, you don't know, and if they don't, like, they don't think negatively about you for hitting them up. Like, they just don't think anything of it.
So anytime my friends, I see them start a business, like, even if they didn't talk to me personally, I'll call them up now because I know where they're at.
Yeah.
And I go out of my way to go, hey man, congrats. It's the best and dumbest thing you'll do. It'll be frustrating. Give me a ring if you ever get in trouble. I fucked up a lot in the last 3 years. I'm happy to impart any of that knowledge. I used to wait for that call or wait till I see them. And now when I see that, they started their own thing, I go out of my way to talk to them.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good. You're helping them.
Yeah.
You're helping them in a way you actually can help them.
Well, both of us believe in the self-helpy kind of thing of like, serving, volunteering, helping out. It does much better for you first.
Yeah, if you want to look at it like you're doing something selfish, sure, because it's going to make you feel good, but it's going to definitely it'll make you feel so much better to help somebody else. So
I believe that's called psychological egoism, where you volunteer only to feel good.
Fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's probably the only reason I would do it.
At the end of the day, there's theory like I forget the theory who has the theory, but there's no one does anything altruistic to be altruistic.
Right. In the end, you want to make yourself happy, and
I want to get to heaven.
Do it.
My thing is like we laughed a little bit too much on it. People are like, "Hey man, fuck that."
Heaven is real.
So I'm going to break down social media marketing and management really quick. I'm going to break it into 3 big sections that have 3 parts to each of that. How about that?
Are you about to break down 9 phases?
Yeah, real quick.
Sure.
We can do it. It's not hard.
Do you need me here for this, or should
I mean, phase 1 is just right? Pre-Fontaine, pre-planning. Phase 2, producing, whatever you want to call it. Phase 3, post. That's it, right? Pro,
beginning,
post.
Middle, and end.
Right, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's in 3s for a reason, right? So phase 1, the pre-production, call it. So we got to go, what are the goals? What's the objectives? Give me a business. I'll improv this thing. Give me like a local business.
A local business.
Or just any kind of like small business.
A Cuban sandwich shop.
Cuban sandwich shop. The sandwich that originated in Tampa, not Miami.
Yeah.
It's fucking delicious. Look it up.
Or Cuba, for that matter.
Nope. Happened here, actually.
I know. No, I'm saying, like,
but
you say it like it's obviously not Miami.
Oh, well, I got a beef with Miami. So, objectives, all right? Cuban sandwich shop. We got to promote. We got to get the word out there. The objective is we got to get people through that doorway, right? We got to bring people from online to offline in our place. Okay, so local awareness is kind of what Facebook would call it. You know, on Google Maps, we got to make sure we're looking good over there. But I'm just gonna keep this to like Facebook. Let's just do that because most people know a little bit more about that.
But having all of your
Lead
ducks in a row across all social media also important.
Right. Yeah. Well, integrated marketing, holistic approach. We can get to that later. That's a little bit more advanced, but you're right. Yes. But let's call it lead generation, right? Because that's what it is. Lead generation, right? We want to get customers. So, what are the goals? What they call KPIs, key performance indicators? How can we tell from what we're doing online that's going to bring people in? We might do an offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 for 1, happy hour. We might do mention this Facebook ad to get $1 off. That way we can track it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are indicators. All the goals and KPIs, it's all about ROI. All those stats, they go, oh, we're getting a lot of people engaging on this on our social media stuff.
Great.
Well, have you looked at
made
the
any
trend?
money?
Right.
Yeah.
And have you been able to talk to all the customers coming in and figured out how they found out about you? Because you're going to do, you're right, in the sense that you're going to do like 15 different tactics. You're going to have a sandwich board outside, no pun intended, for a sandwich shop. You just might have walk-up traffic from that. Signage, exterior signage, that's one big thing that people underrate all the time. You drive by a place in the neighborhood, you're like, oh, I'm going to go there one day. Like,
Yeah.
People underrate signage. I don't understand it.
And the name. They underrate the name.
Right. That too. Easy name to spell, easy name to say, like in conversation. Oh, you got to go here. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. All right. So
taking it from two people whose companies, Tampaniac and Tokopak Consulting.
Well,
So just, we learned our lesson.
mine was an uphill battle. Mine was like, if we can get people to understand what it is, it's good. All right. So you got your objective, lead generation. You've got metrics, whatever, your goals, your stats. You got to go, hey, we need to get to there, right? If we're going to spend X amount of money or time, which equals money, if you know what your dollar per hour is labor-wise, we got to get twice as much back. We got to get 3 times as much back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are the indicators that are going to tell us we're on our way? Is it going to be clicks? Is it going to be calls? All right. So objectives, goals. Now we got to figure out the audience, right? So we're B2C, and we're going to hit lunchtime crowd within a 3-mile radius. That's probably a group, right? Lunch crowd, 3 miles, because that's about as far maybe as people go. You figure out that radius.
When you say lunch crowd, you're talking about timing of the
day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just advertise. I mean,
I'm just talking about who's the target audience.
Oh, okay.
So it could be set by time like that, and time and day. It could be, okay, who eats Cuban sandwiches the most? I'd have to think about this. Who do you think? Like probably white guys like us.
Yeah, me.
So
Love 'em.
mid-30s white guys, probably older. There's probably a group of 55-year-old guys, probably in that range. I don't feel like a lot of women I see eating a lot of Cuban sandwiches.
I probably didn't choose the best business.
No, it's fine.
Just because everybody eats. And who doesn't like a Cuban sandwich?
It's a sandwich shop, but for funsies, because I want people to look up the Cuban sandwich. It is amazing. And so we're going to go B2C. We've got dudes in their mid-30s. We've got older gents, 50s. Maybe we make maybe we tailor a Cuban that's like an 80-calorie Cuban. It's a really small one. And
Cubanito?
We tailor that to the female crowd. Then we do maybe we do a kids Cuban, little bebita Cuban, a baby Cuban.
I already used my all my Spanish.
So that's the B2C crowd. People forget you probably make more money and more legit money in the B2B. When you think of a sandwich shop, you just think B2C, right?
Yeah.
But B2B is where you can make a lot of your dough.
Yeah,
And
catering.
Businesses, they want something to be brought in. There's big campuses of office parks and stuff. Try to make deals around the hard hours, right?
There's boring ass lunch meetings that are catered every day in every city around the world.
Yep.
Somebody's got to eat.
So we're gonna get into phase 2. So that's all like.
Oh, that was only phase 1.
It'll move quicker.
Okay.
We go big to small, right?
I don't know.
So the phase 2, the production, the actual producing, creative 1, content 2, they're separate, and 3 is platform. Now these aren't in order; they're interchangeable because you might have something with platform, then you have to make the content, then the creative.
What are you talking about for platform?
So platform, you got Facebook, you got LinkedIn, you got Instagram, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. We're going to stay there. We're going to stick with that because food porn always plays on that.
Yep.
We know that.
Yep.
We just know that anecdotally. I don't have to look it up, but I can probably find some stats if I need to. Content. What food porn, right? That's the creative. That's your number one creative.
Mm-hmm.
You're the editor of your own magazine. What's on the cover of O magazine? Oprah. Every month. She made it. But that's the cover story. Is always food porn for us. What's the Sports Illustrated faces in the crowd? What's our other content? Behind the scenes. Always good content. People, I don't know why people love seeing behind the scenes of every business, right?
Mm-hmm. Testimonials.
Testimonials are great. Yeah, we do that for a lot of clients where we'll pull a good review they got, and then we'll make it into a graphic, a video, and if we can get them on video, even better too. Content I use as like medium, so image, GIF, video, audio. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, and the way you edit it. So if you're doing like Pinterest,
like
formatting, yeah. Pinterest, you're gonna go portrait.
Right.
Facebook, some Facebook ads, the best ones, they take up the whole phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you want that portrait, right?
Instagram's like square.
Instagram now is longer too, and you might make.
Yeah, you're right.
So depending on the platform, whatever's usually the newest feature they're pushing is the thing that you're gonna get the best bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So when Facebook really started putting video out, they're like, we're gonna be we're gonna try to beat YouTube in video, because YouTube's the number 2 search engine in the world. And so they go, okay, we're going to really jack up video like crazy. So that means if you advertise, you boost a post, you're going to get way more bang for your buck. Okay? So that's it. Phase 2. Done. The creative, you guys know it, food porn. All right? Phase 3, right? We got to look at we got to engage. We got to quality control. So we got to look at what's going on. Who's talking shit? We got to make sure we're on top of that. Mm-hmm. Who had a bad time? Who gave us a 1 star? We got to reply to that immediately.
Yes.
Or you could use our preferred partner, Bird Eye, and you can delete that. But you got to go through us, or you can pay for the whole agency fee yourself. I don't care. Quality control check, engagement, customer service online. It doesn't take much, but there's a way to bottleneck all those messages to one place so that you're not having to check into 15 different accounts. All right?
How do you do that?
You can use Zapier or IFTTT and create these recipes to have it. We have them go to Slack if we're on our game.
Right.
All right. Quality control. Let's call it quality control with engagement. We're going to go at analysis, right? So we're going to look at how much we've done. We got to look back. This is a lot of people don't do it with marketing. They make a plan, and then they never go, all right, in a month, we got to look at what we did and kind of annotate it. All right. So it's like, all right, we were doing a lot of food porn in week 2 of this month, and we got way more people in. Now I do it like a bet. I go, I bet that food porn kind of engagement has been making people come in the door, and then have someone else debate you on it. Find someone just to be the devil's advocate, right?
What, online you mean?
No. Like in your employees or or friends or something. Like, hey, I'm looking at our marketing stats. I think online.
A good leader always creates conflict amongst its employees.
Or challenge me. I always say that. Challenge me. I tell clients, challenge me all the time.
But you say it like a lot more aggressive and
I
louder
do.
in the meetings.
I'm like Napoleon syndrome.
Challenge me!
and then my traps go up. You ever had your shit pushed in? All right. And then last thing is refine. So you got the analysis, you looked at the stats. Hey, I got a lot of likes on the page, but we're not getting a lot of people through the door. Okay, what does a like mean? What is it? You've done the analysis. You're kind of thinking logically, horse sense, all that stuff. Now you refine. Now you go back to phase 1 and go, okay, are we hitting the objectives? Or have we been better? Have we gotten sales up by spending an hour every day trying to do stuff online? Or 5 hours a week, I call it. Because it's better to do it in one glut.
Analyze the analysis.
And that's it. That's how this came out of frustration of trying to educate this whole kind of model, and it came out of just repetition of like, this is how I see it. If you do advertising, the complexity of advertising, throw in probably maybe 1 or 2 more phases on top of that for social media ads.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a lot, I know, but people can rewind.
I can definitely see why you wanted to use the emoticons and icons and things to represent this stuff.
Yeah,
so that it's not all so boring.
It can be very boring, but it's one of those things that like when we get the tutorial kind of video set up a little bit better, then we can kind of show some of this while we're doing the podcast too. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll help. If what is it, digital whiteboard where you can draw on it like a stylus?
Yeah.
At least something like that we can get. I think we can.
Telestrator, John Madden.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then the old ambulance comes out, and it takes 12 minutes to get someone off the field.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. We need to take our own advice and do it for this podcast. So we're on Facebook. Go on the Facebook page. Share this episode out. I want you to close your eyes, if not while you're driving or jogging, but if you're listening, try to close your eyes. Think of a friend that you can send this podcast to, and that'll count as your volunteer.
Which of your friends likes to talk about hemorrhoids?
All of
Who's
them?
that person? Not
all
your
cool
friend, not us, not you and I.
All your cool friends.
Right, exactly.
Who can't handle 90 seconds of hemorrhoid talk?
I know.
Alfonso appreciates
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
I heard him say thank you.
I know. If it were up to me, I'd have my own hemorrhoid podcast.
Hey, maybe you don't want to send the Facebook page. Maybe you want to stay dark and on Messenger. We're on Spotify. I hear a lot more promotion for podcasts on Spotify. It's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. So we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcast app. We're on iTunes. What else are we on? We're on
Laughable.
The Laughable app, where you can tag us as comedians if we ever guested on other people's podcasts, which we will soon. We're on Vimeo. If you're that
Vimeo
guy.
And YouTube.
You're the 20,000 people that go on Vimeo.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
No, but there's not a lot of people looking over there for stuff.
Yeah, you don't really check into Vimeo.
They're going to be the third. They're going to be the third player, I think. YouTube, and I think that's it. We need to get on Twitch, I think.
I mean, we get LinkedIn. We do that stuff.
Oh, LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And we'll get the Facebook group. Oh, sweatequitypod.com.
Yeah, we got a website that takes you right to all of it. That helps.
And that's all the plugs. Why don't you say something about leadership while I replug this in? And
jeez, every time. You're being a bad leader right now. How about that? By not preparing to plug in the cord.
Well, I mean, come on. I don't want my phone to ring on my laptop.
It's been ringing left and right.
Well,
I hope it worked. Sorry, I don't want to bring you down. I feel like it just broke you.
You bummed me out. I'm going to go take a nap.
Rage nap.
Rage.